brought your A-game. Good luck, contestants. Next, some pro tips.
You burn the eyes of your enemies. Remember, while you may not be the best player, gunshot both the entry and exit wounds.
toxic. When it's compressed, its potency is multiplied. That means it will inflict damage more quickly than the last time it moved. Get to the new safe zone. I repeat, get into the new safe zone as soon as possible. Good luck! get ready for the Culling. To win this game, you need to get rid of your heart of flesh and become a cold-hearted killer. But if you get cold feet, you will feel the chill of heavy blood loss, which leads to being put on ice. So keep a cool head, or you'll get left out in the cold, where it's colder than a wind. A tier-3 body armor. Stay cool in the Culling. Good luck. And now,
doorway is called a fatal funnel for a reason.
From the Figure 4 Online Studios in beautiful Bothell, Washington, exclusively at WrestlingObserver.com, you're listening to The Brian and Benny Show with your hosts, Brian and Brad, and Big Benny B.
During your someone you don't know.
What are you doing over there? Some guy caught in the, leg of the chair. His face was broken. Never mind, I was thinking for 15 minutes.
I was gonna say, you got stuff.
It's the Brian Vinny Show with Craig, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
July 17, 2018, figure4online.com/wrestlingobserver.com. Yeah, you haven't been here for a while.
No.
I was going to say I didn't notice, but of course I noticed.
I know you did.
Still signing them checks. Got a lot to get into here today. Retro Rod Nitro. 19 years ago this week. What's that face for, Vinny? Don't think I can't see you.
You know you can see me.
I can see you right here.
You see Craig, too.
I can see everybody. I can see Rob, Tony. None of you can see at home.
Look at Tony. He's all cleaned up and looking nice.
That's cleaned up.
For him, he actually was clean shaven for a while. I guess it has been a while since you've seen him. Yeah.
Well, let's talk about the most important thing here. Cameron's review of the Chop and Rolls match.
Oh, you want me to just give his review?
Yeah.
When it got done, he said, well, thank God they got paid. I guess that means thumbs up?
You're lucky. No, that's a thumbs down, sounds like to me.
He was underwhelmed.
What does he know about wrestling? What do you mean he was underwhelmed? What expectations do you give this child? For the Rock and Roll Express against me and Phil D.
He saw you in his very first live wrestling event, and you wrestled Santiago.
It was like 4.
Right.
He can't possibly remember that.
Why not? He's not that far removed from it.
I don't remember the Santiago match. I do remember I beat Santiago, because then Santiago beat Filthy twice.
Sure.
Just want to throw that out there.
Sure.
I think this match was more entertaining than the Santiago match. Maybe not as good in the ring.
And to bring it a little full circle, Santiago and his partner Ethan HD are wrestling Mustache Mountain when Progress comes.
That's the match?
Yeah. That's for the Defy show.
Hold on a second. So it's not me and Filthy. It's Santiago and Ethan HD?
Yeah.
I gotta talk to Matt. This is unacceptable.
How dare he book guys who show up work for him, not guys who have never been to a show.
What are you talking about? Mustache Mountain's never been on the show.
There.
Am I wrong?
NXT.
Am I wrong about that? I've been a Black Label Pro.
It is their debut.
It is their debut. Could have been our debut as well.
Actually,
I just can't believe that's the match. I'm just baffled.
That's not for the Progress show. It's for the Defy show the next day.
I see.
It's running head-to-head with a Pearl Jam show. Sorry, I'm not going to be at Defy.
Oh. All high and mighty now.
Yeah.
Yelling at me, now you're going to miss the show for Pearl Jam?
You're driving to Portland
Like you've never gone? How many shows have you gone to? 300?
This will be number 38, 39, and 40 this year.
38, 39, and 40.
Yep.
Wow.
Think they'll do even flow? Every night.
Oh, come on. Seriously? All right, let's talk about these shows here. A lot to get into. I didn't watch... I'm not going to lie. I barely watched any of Raw. I watched about 20 minutes of it.
You're just giving up on the show now?
No, I was completely... Here's what happened. I am still not caught up with July.
Yeah.
I was completely, totally out of time. I thought I can watch all of Nitro and part of Raw. I can watch all of Raw and part of Nitro. Which of these two shows do I want to watch all of? And guess which one I chose? Nitro. Huh. Did I make the right decision? Yeah. I enjoyed Nitro.
Not a huge difference.
I thought Nitro was pretty good.
Raw has ups and downs.
All I know is that I had a half hour left after I watched Nitro. And so I fast-forwarded in, so there will be a half hour left of Raw. Nitro ends with a disqualification in the main event. And the very first thing I see is a 1-minute match that ended in a disqualification. And I almost was like, I'm not going to even watch any more of this show. I'm sick of this show.
There were a lot of 1-minute matches on Raw.
Fuck! With shit finishes up and down the show.
I think Nitro may have had worse finishes, but we'll have to get into it.
I'm not sure. All I know...
No, you didn't watch Raw.
it had more shit finishes because I've watched every fucking Raw.
Well,
Are you telling me that all of a sudden things have changed? So I have like 9 clean finishes on the show?
Actually, they were particularly bad on the show.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nitro number 200, July 19th, 1999. Recap of Hulk Hogan beating Randy Savage for the world title last week. And a recap of Sting destroying Ric Flair and his crew, leading to tonight's Sting-Flair match with control of the company of Snake. Scott Hudson was doing commentary instead of Tony Schiavone. I don't think it was explained why, but
He's there now.
He's just okay.
He did a really good job.
Yeah.
This is what my patience is like here nowadays. He's doing a very good job. I'm happy as a clam. And then during the Vampiro match, he mentions that there was a stiff kick.
Yeah.
And I was done with him. That's where my patience is nowadays. You say one stupid thing as a commentator, I never want to hear you again.
His big thing, Scott's on the show, was he was doing what Eric Bischoff was last week, which is don't leave a second of dead air. Pathological fear of dead air. Whenever anyone stopped in a promo to breathe in or collect their thoughts, he'd have to say something to fill that space.
Yes.
Video recap of Ric Flair becoming president and going crazy, leading up to tonight's match with Sting. And no, you're not hallucinating. I did just say the same thing twice because it aired twice. Sid comes out for a promo. Takes a long time to get down to that ring.
He is getting a lot of heat. This was a hot show, hot crowd.
It was a hot crowd.
Yeah.
He gestures for silence and patiently waits for it. Finally,
Good stuff right there. This guy is Sid Vicious, otherwise known as Psycho Sid.
Yeah.
He's a crazy man. He's a psychopath. He's a madman. He patiently waits for the crowd to calm down. And then as he's cutting his promo, every time he mentioned his name, he politely called him Mr. Hogan. Every time. He's the most polite psychopath I've ever in the history of anything.
Hannibal Lecter's awfully polite.
Not this polite.
So, Sid runs down Hogan.
Mr. Hogan.
Mr. Hogan. He promises Mr. Hogan will admit that Sid is the master and ruler of the world. And then, as I wrote here, he politely turned the mic off, set it down, and left.
Where's he going?
What's happening?
You put in the wrong hole again. Every time. I was right earlier. You would have been better off.
You know,
watching Raw.
We could have
Remember,
done
Vinny?
that, and nobody
Watching
would have
Raw.
ever known.
So there was.
There's cameras here, man.
Watching Raw.
There's
Yeah,
one camera, and Rob doesn't have to turn it on me.
yeah, he does. He's Rob. He knows good video.
Apparently, you know good radio. Paying attention to
This
everything.
guy's doing something funny. I'm gonna film it. He's jamming that thing into that hole.
Craig tried to creep across the table.
I was doing a fine job till I was called to
You realize there's a camera there, and they're wide angle going like this, so your giant head scooting
Rob,
up right
did you
there.
see me at all?
Actually, no, it was actually on the...
All right, suck it.
Why'd you have to bring attention to it then, Craig? We were doing just fine. Go ahead, Vinny. Continue.
So Sid politely turns the mic off and sets it down, and he leaves. The Nitro girls come out and dance for a while. Does anything happen on the show? We were like 12 minutes in, and nothing actually happened
What are
yet.
you talking about? We had Sid promo.
This is Sid's promo.
He had a great promo last week. I gave it a chance. Wasn't that good?
We had a Fit Finley versus Jerry Flynn match.
Okay. This is another one of those shows where I did not miss a week, but I feel like I've missed 10 years. What is that?
My phone's way over here.
Get it off the table. Yeah,
Is that it?
it was your phone.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. It's always here.
Well, someone was texting you or something.
That may be it.
Anyway, since when is Jimmy Hart in the First Family running roughshod over WCW?
Last week.
Jimmy Hart in the First Family?
Yes.
When?
They were presenting a trophy.
I remember that. But they're like a big time faction all of a sudden.
Well, the segment ended last week with Jimmy Hart stealing the trophy and his men fighting off the Europeans.
And well, here he is, Jimmy Hart of the First Family here in 1999, stolen the trophy.
The hardcore trophy.
He happily explains, I'm going to bring it to Sturgis, South Dakota. Come get it.
That's what happened. Dude, that's not the silliest thing that happened to Jimmy Hart in this segment. So, yeah.
The best is what you're trying to say.
So Finley and Jerry Flynn are doing this match. Quick comment on the match itself. I think Finley, there's no one who entertains me more doing basic things than Fit Finley. I love watching Fit Finley do elbow drops. I love watching Fit Finley do body slams. They're all awesome. So they're having this fun mean guy match. And every 2 or 3 minutes, Jimmy Hart reappears in the screen. He's in the parking lot outside the building. And he reappears in the big screen to taunt Finley. And finally, Finley can take no more. And he goes charging out in the back to get his trophy. Jimmy Hart is alerted that Finley is coming to murder him. His plan is, I'll go hide under this bus.
Now, conveniently, there was a drop cloth under the bus where Jimmy could roll on the cement without getting his nice tuxedo
Yes.
dirty.
So can I examine this incident that happened
What's
here?
what we're here for, yeah.
Okay, so at first it was hilariously stupid. This guy's coming to get me. I'm gonna hide under the bus with this giant trophy that ain't gonna fit underneath.
And the final shot was him. He was mostly under the bus, but
Yes.
his hand was sticking out trying to pull the trophy in.
He was literally throwing himself under the bus.
So,
Yes.
so that's ridiculous.
Right.
But then the whole point was by getting stuck under a bus. His brilliant plan here.
Yeah.
Finley was slowed down, and so the first family
Yes.
was able to jump it.
Right. It's a trap.
It was actually genius, as preposterous as it appeared.
Mouth of the South, Admiral Akbar here.
Yes. Bobby noted he's the smartest manager I've ever met, aside from myself.
Yes. So yeah, the first family beats the hell out of Finley for some time, actually. And suddenly, they just jump to the next segment. They don't fade to black, they don't go to commercial, there's no breakup, the beating is still going on, and suddenly here's Lenny and Lodi with no shirts.
Yeah.
Sitting at a table with J.J. Dillon.
They're having a contract discussion, and they show up shirtless.
Yes, for their business negotiations.
Sure.
Because as it turns out, Lenny and Lodi's contracts have expired. And it's up to J.J. Dillon to determine whether or not they will remain employed.
This was a hell of a negotiation, I might add. Nothing about, you guys haven't done jack shit. You've
lose
barely
all the
been on
time.
TV.
Yeah.
We're paying you hundreds of thousands of dollars to do nothing. JJ's big deal is your signature's weird.
That's what she said.
We never found out why it was weird.
No.
Like, were there hearts on it?
Maybe. So, he asked them how long they thought they could get away with this. Like, he wouldn't figure it out. He says, I'm not in the closet, or something like that.
Yes, that's exactly what he said.
And then the big reveal is, we all know you guys are brothers. That's it. They haven't been brothers this whole time.
No, Vinny. No, you're confused.
Gay brothers? Weird.
J.J. Dillon thinks they're brothers, but they are gay.
Aha!
Because when you watched it, you could see them getting more and more nervous. And then when he finally says you're brothers, you're like, whew.
I did miss this.
Yes. So the storyline is...
That makes me happy because what they're doing as a gay couple is fine.
Yes.
If they were brothers, it'd be very creepy.
Well, yeah. Yeah, so they're gay, but everyone, including the idiot announcer, thinks they are in fact brothers.
I see.
Which begs the question, how do they sign these contracts? Lenny and Lodi Lane?
I suppose. So they signed the new contracts. They are still employed. Thank goodness. Mean Gene brings out Hogan for Mr. Hogan for a promo.
Thank you.
And Hogan, he was Hogan. He said, I'll beat Sid tonight. I'll beat Kevin Nash at Sturgis.
Cut a babyface promo. He figured it was time to turn his life around. This isn't his first time around the block. He knew he'd win that title. The big dogs were going to come after him. Roman Reigns shout out here in 1999. And he says Sid has one part of the whole equation wrong. I was like, let's see Sid's equation. That's what I'd like to see.
The Big Bang Theory starring Sid.
Yeah, he vowed Sid would be vowing that Hogan was the man.
Please show your work, Mr. Sid.
She said.
Yes.
Sting Flair hype video. No, you're not misremembering things. They aired the exact same video a third time now in this show.
Tonight's video.
Lodi versus Norman Smiley.
Fuck.
As I wrote here,
Match.
every bit as shitty as you would expect.
Lodi is so lucky they re-signed before this fucking match.
Yes.
Because if J.J. Dillon would have seen this, it's terrible. Like, I'm sure that Norman Smiley's a nice guy. This is 19 years later. This dude's a trainer at the Performance Center. I watched this match and like, are you fucking kidding me? This match was terrible. The finish, he either fucked it up twice, or it looked like he was fucked up. Either way, don't do that. And ICP's in the building, they announced.
Randomly. The only thing I can say in Norman's defense It looked like he was working as slow as possible so as not to outpace Lodi, but he couldn't do it. Norman at his slowest speed was still too fast for Lodi to keep up with.
I was going to make a comment about the Rock and Roll Express, but they had more speed than both of us in that match.
I imagine they did.
Saturday night, now that I think about it.
Yeah. So, this did in fact suck, and they did fuck up the finish horribly twice. The wacky roll-up into a submission, they just ended up randomly in the ropes. So Norman did a wacky roll-up into a pin instead. And Lenny and Lodi were so broken up by this loss that they danced with Norman afterwards.
They did the big wiggle. I think it was by themselves. Norman left.
Norman kind of started with them, and then they weirded him out.
He left them to wiggle with each other.
That's what happened, yes. For the fourth fucking time in 40 minutes, we saw this goddamn Sting Flair video. What is happening? Do they think millions of people are tuning in every quarter hour, multiple times per quarter hour to watch this show? At last we had the match, so I was at least sure I would not see the video again.
Anyone time this?
I do not know.
I'm guessing it was around
7 or 8 minutes.
I believe Dave said 8 minutes, but this felt like it went at least 15. Am I wrong?
It felt that way. It was a good match, though.
It was a good match, but like, they had a match, and then a bunch of shit happened, and then they kept going.
Yes, this may be the problem. he may have called the match. He may have called the match when the bullshit started.
I see.
But it didn't officially end for several minutes after that.
Yes.
That's possible. So was the.
I'm sure you're all very allergic to toxic gas. In just a few moments, the gas will be heading your way. Save your urge to inhale for later, unless you want to get very choked up. Keep your hands and feet inside the safe zone. Shut up and have fun. Here's Success! Yes! The match has ended. Obviously, we are out of time, so we're gonna say goodbye to you, but I want to say our winner will be